All right, so we are moving on to factorization. And here, factorization is simply bringing out the factors of a particular term out and grouping the rest that are not part of a particular term, leaving them in a bracket. That is the definition, the clear definition I can give about factorization. But what do I mean by that? Let me start with the story. Now, so I entered a shop. So shop one and shop 2. So I entered this shop. The first shop sells Milo. The second shop sells Nido. They sell Gary. And the second shop sells Gary. They sell sugar. They sell milk. Yes, they sell these items. Now, as far as these two shops are concerned, you can see clearly that there are some items that are sold in shop 1 and at the same time they are sold in shop 2, right? So they are common ones. So you can see there's Gary here. So if I bring the Gary that they both sell out, you can see that shop 1 we're left with Milo and Nido. Then shop 2 is also be left with sugar and milk. Now the idea of bringing the common ones out is what we term as the factorization. That is the idea. That is the idea. The idea of bringing the common ones out is what we termed as what? Factorization. Now, as when we are doing this mathematically, we say we give an example like this. Maybe I have 2x, then I have plus xy. Let's take this as shop 1 and this as shop 2. You can see clearly that in shop 1 they sell 2x and shop 2 they sell what? X and y. So you can see that there is x here and there is x here as well. So we can bring one of the x, we can bring the x's out. So if we bring the x's out from both, we will have this. So now from this one, taking the x out, what we left here? Left with 2 over here, right? Plus this 2. When you take the x out, what we left here? It's left with y. You get it? So it means that bringing the x out, bringing the common factors. So x becomes the common factor. So bringing that common factor out is what we term as factorization. The type 3. Now let's look at this for examples. So we have 3ax plus 6ay. We also have 54 minus 81x. We also have s cubed minus s squared y. We also have 100x minus 25s squared. So let's take the first one. So we have 3ax plus 6ay. Then we also have 54 minus 81x. We also have s cubed minus s squared y. And we also have 100x minus 25x squared. Now let's start from here. All right, so for the first one, we are factorizing. Now we can see clearly that it involves numbers and involves letters. So let's start with the numbers. After we factorize the numbers, then we go to the letters. So we can see clearly that 3 can go into 6, right? If we look for the factors of 6, 3 is part. So we can bring 3 out. So we can bring 3 out. And there is a here and there is a here as well. So we can bring a also out. So if we bring 3a from here, what will be left here? It's left with x plus. Now, 3 times what gives you 6? That is 2. Then the a is out. So what will be left? Left with what? Y. So that is the factorization of this. It means that if I multiply this by this, I get this. If I multiply this by that, I get this. Are we good? Now the second one, we have 54 minus 81x. Now the 54 has no letter attached to it. So this time we are not factorizing letters. We are factorizing numbers. Now 54 and 81. What can I factorize out? We can factorize 9 out because 9 is a factor of the 2. So you can factorize 9 out. If I factorize 9 out, I will ask myself 9 times what to give me 54. That is 6. Are we good? Minus 9 times what will give you 81. That is 9. Then I add the x. That is all. Finish. Because 9 times 6 will give me 54. Then 9 times 9x will give you 81x. Are we good? Now, the next one, we can see we have s cubed minus s squared y. S cubed means that the s cubed are 3 over here, right? Good. And this is 2. So we can bring the 2 out. So I can bring x squared out, and left with only x over here. Because they are 3, and I'm bringing 2 out. So left with x over here. Then minus the x squared is out, so y will be left. If I multiply this by this, I get this. If I multiply this by that, I get this. Now 100 minus 100s minus 25s squared. Now 25 is a factor of 100, so I can bring 25 out. So 25. Then there's x in both terms, so I bring x also out. So now if I bring 25x out, 25 times what's giving me 100? That is 4. So 4 will be left over here. I will go. The x is already out. Minus 25 times what gives me 25? That is 1. 1. And it will left with x because one of the x's is out. So we'll just write x over here like that. You see, we should have written 1x, but 1x is the same as what? X. So that's what we have for the factorization. That's the type 1 of the factorization. So let's move to type 2. All right, so now we have these questions we want to try our hands on again. That's the type 2. So it's now with the type 2, mostly they give you 4 terms, okay? Mostly they give you 4 terms. The 4 terms, you group the first one, you group the second one. Now, but you can have an instance whereby the first one, when you group them, it wouldn't work. So unless you interchange some of the terms before you can group them. So you just look at the one that will be suitable for you, then you group those ones, then do the factorization, then you are gone. So I'm trying my best to explain this one. Now, after solving the first 2, the third one, I'll be happy you pause the video, then you solve it yourself. Then after you check whether your answer matches with what we had in the video. Okay, a little bit of try, then we are there. Okay, so the first one, 3x squared plus 2xy minus 12xz minus 8yz. Now with this one, we can group the first one and group the second one. It will work with us. So we'll group the first one, then we'll group the second term. We group the first 2 and the second 2. Now with these 2, what is common over here? We can see that x is common, so I can bring xy out. Then we'll left with what? 3x over here and also 2y over here. Now mind you, when we are factorizing, the terms we get in the bracket will appear or will be the same as the second bracket when we are dealing with the second. We are dealing with the type 2. So the one in the first bracket, I mean this one, will also be in the second bracket. The same thing will be in the second bracket. If not the same, you are wrong. Now on this side, you see we have 12 here, and we have 8 here. We have z and we have z. Now let's come with the numbers. The numbers, we can factorize 4 out. Now you can ask yourself, what sign will come before the 4? Now we have minus here, we have minus here, because we can factorize negative out. So we are factorizing negative 4 out. So we factor negative 4 out. What we left here? Negative 4 times what give you negative 12. So we will left with what? 3. But remember there is z here, there is z here as well. So we can bring negative 4z out. So that we left with 3x over here. Are we good? Now, because we factorize negative 4 out, the sign here will not still be minus. It will change to plus. So that when we multiply, we can get this. We can multiply the negative and the positive. We can get back to the negative. If we bring negative here, when we multiply, we'll get positive. Good. So we bring 4, then 2, and y. You can see clearly that this one and this one are the same. So what do? We group them. We group the ones outside the bracket. So that's x minus 4x. Sorry, x minus 4z. Then another bracket. 3x plus 2y. So we bring one of this bracket out and we group this, and this is also another bracket. All right, so with the second one, we have x squared plus 6x plus 2x squared plus 3x. Now we can see clearly that some of the terms has a square, this and that. So let's bring those ones together and let's leave the one without the bracket together, because if we factorize x out of these 2, we will not get it right. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 6x plus 3x. Are we good? Then we will factorize the x squared from here, x squared. Then we left it what? 1 plus 2 over here. Now from here, we can factorize 3x, because 3x is the factor of 6x, right? So we can factorize 3x out. Then we left it what? 2 plus what? 1. Are we good? So 2 plus 1 and 1 plus 2, they are the same thing. It depends on the position. Okay, if I had brought this one first, we'll get the same thing. So we are going to get x squared plus 3x in one bracket. Then also 2 plus 1 also in another bracket. That is all for question 2. Are we good? So question 3. Now, so we have this very one too. Now you can pause the video from here, then watch and solve it yourself. After that, you compare, you check your answer if it's right. Are we good? So now let's look at this. Now we can have, you see, we have mx and ma, so we can factorize m here in the first two. We also have nx and na, so we can also factorize, right? Someone can also decide to bring the one with the a together and the one with the n together and still factorize. We will get the same thing. So we are going to get, we put this in bracket and put this one to another bracket. So what are we factorizing here? We're factorizing m out. So we bring m out, we left is what? X minus a. So remember, the next bracket too, we have to get n minus a. Are you good? Good. So we bring plus n out and we get x minus what? A. Like that. So the final answer will be m plus n in one bracket and also x minus a in also another bracket. Simple like that. Now with this one, we can see that this AD and this BC, if we put these two together, we can factorize. So we have to look for another term that has A or D in it. So I can either bring this or this closer to this so that I can factorize something out. So I have AD minus AC plus BC plus what? BD. So these two, I can factorize something out. These two, I can factorize something out. Sorry, this is plus. So I have A bracket D plus C in one bracket. Then also I'll bring B out, then C plus D in also another bracket. So our final answer is going to be A plus B and also C plus D, also that bracket. So that is it. And this is the last one. This is the last question. Let's try and solve this question too as well, so that we go to the quadratic trinomials. That one will be a different video because I don't want this video to be that lengthy. So I'll do a full video on the quadratic trinomials. So this the last question. I want you to solve the last question. This one. Solve the last question and let me know your answer in the comment section below. Thank you very much for your time. Let's go to quadratic trinomials.